What's up everybody, thanks for stopping by the channel. This is my review of Willy's Wonderland. This is the wild and eccentric new horror flick starring a bearded Nicolas Cage as this mysterious drifter who, in exchange for getting his car repaired, agrees to spend the night cleaning the condemned Willy's Wonderland. Which is pretty much like a twisted version of Chuck E. Cheese, only these animatronics are possessed and they're out for blood, and Nicolas Cage is going to have to fight for his life to survive the night. So, as you can see, this movie is absolutely bonkers. Now, let's get into the good, the not so good, and everything in between to see if it delivers enough violence and mayhem to make it onto your watch list.
It's your birthday, and we want you to have fun. It's your birthday, so let's party. It's birthday time.
Now, it feels like Nicolas Cage has been in around 20 movies over the past few years. Most are disposable straight-to-video flicks, but he's slipped in some solid performances in here and there with movies like Mandy and Color Out of Space, and as a Cage fan myself, that's what I hoped for going into this one, and I certainly think he delivered because I thought it was a great time, so let's just jump right into the positives. And there, I would start with the premise overall because I think it's a simple recipe, but it's certainly a fun one for fans of B horror flicks. You don't really know too much. Cage kind of shows up in this small town, and once he begins cleaning this dilapidated fun zone known as Willy's Wonderland, it isn't long before the violence kicks in. These demented animatronics start coming to life, and Cage never loses his cool. It was relatively unique, and that was something that I found appealing about it. You don't really know what's going to happen next and when, so the unpredictability here I thought was surprisingly engaging. And I think Nicolas Cage's character was filled with a lot of fun, appealing mystery, which I think actually worked to build some thought-provoking mystique to him. You don't really know much other than that he sets this timer to routinely slam this mystery soda. He's also not overtly surprised to seeing these animatronics coming to life, nor does he hesitate to kill them as needed. All of it's kind of just unknown, and it's kind of fun to think about, which is subtle but effective world building, which does result in some fun layers of intrigue that are able to be woven in amongst all the violent carnage. It does kind of have you thinking a little bit while Cage is just casually ripping up these mechanical creatures, and in between showing a surprising amount of care and making sure that he comes through in his word on cleaning this place up. I mean, it's just ridiculous, it's absurd, it's wildly eccentric, but I think in the most appealing ways possible. And as for Nicolas Cage, I think he was a perfect fit for this one. He really soaks in the horrific silliness with ease. This movie is insane. His character is mysterious, comical, and deadly, and I think Cage really dials in the charisma right to where it needed to be. I mean, this character routinely flips a switch from being quiet and unassuming to just becoming completely unhinged, and I think we all know Cage is skilled at delivering a cinematic maniac when needed. Now, as for drawbacks, I think it could go either way depending on what you want in your horror movies and just how serious you want them to be. I mean, this movie's ridiculous, and I'll admit the plot layering and the depth in Cage's character is pretty thin. You have to take a lot of things at face value, and there are many unanswered questions from a story aspect. Some could view these as plot holes, other people could see it as building an element of mystery to the mood of the movie. That's kind of where I fell with it. Because overall, I enjoyed it, had a great time watching, and I think the self-awareness here really translates nicely on screen, and I'll give Willy's Wonderland 80%. It's a fun throwback to the B horror movies of the past eras. It's really built for a cult following. It definitely forges its own path. It thinks outside of the box. It certainly brings something delightfully violent and unique to the screen, and for that I would say certainly give it a shot if the trailers have piqued your interest. Now let's jump into today's My Silver Screen recommendations. First up, I picked the movie we mentioned earlier, that being Mandy. It's certainly a wild, fun movie, and Cage is pretty good in the lead. Next up, I selected Jacob's Ladder from 1990. This is just a dark and twisted movie, and I think Tim Robbins is fantastic in the lead. And finally, I picked 1980's The Fog from director John Carpenter, starring a young Jamie Lee Curtis. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. I'd love to talk movies with you guys. Share it with your friends, and without question, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can never miss a video. Here are some links to some recent reviews just in case you missed them. All my social media links and the link to our official website are down in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.